Welcome to Pro English Stories, where you can improve your English through simple, emotional, and meaningful stories. My name is Alisha, and I was 18 years old when my family fell apart. People often think divorce is only about two adults deciding to live separately, but they are wrong. Sometimes divorce changes an entire family. It changes the way you wake up in the morning. It changes the meaning of home. And sometimes, it forces a child to make a choice they never wanted to make. For me, that choice was simple to ask, but impossible to answer. Where do I live now? With my mother or with my father? I grew up in a quiet neighborhood in Ohio. My father, David, worked as a manager at a small construction company. My mother, Sarah, was a nurse at a local hospital. They were both hardworking people, and when I was young, I thought they were happy. We had family dinners. We celebrated birthdays together. We went on road trips. Every summer, my father took me fishing. Every winter, my mother made hot chocolate while we watched movies. I thought my family would always stay the same. But families can change quietly. Sometimes you don't notice the cracks until the wall finally breaks. When I was 16, I started noticing that my parents argued more often. At first, the arguments were small. Money, work, house responsibilities. Then the arguments became longer. Sometimes they stopped talking to each other for days. I tried to stay out of it. I told myself, they're just having a difficult time. But deep inside, I knew something was wrong. One evening, I came home from school and found my mother sitting alone in the kitchen. Her eyes were red. "Mom, are you okay?" She quickly wiped her face. "I'm fine, sweetheart." I knew she wasn't. I sat beside her. After a long silence, she finally whispered, "Your father and I are having serious problems." My heart sank. "Are you getting divorced?" She didn't answer immediately. That silence was my answer. A few months later, my parents officially separated. My father moved into an apartment about 30 minutes away. My mother stayed in our family house. Suddenly, my childhood home felt different. My father's chair was empty. His shoes were gone from the hallway. His coffee mug was still in the kitchen cabinet. I couldn't bring myself to move it. It felt like removing his place from our family. At first, I visited my father every weekend. He tried to make everything normal. He cooked breakfast. We watched basketball. We talked about college. But sometimes I could see sadness in his eyes. One Saturday morning, he asked me, "Are you happy here?" I knew what he really meant. "Yes, Dad." He smiled, but I knew he was worried. My mother had her own struggles. She worked long shifts at the hospital. She came home tired. Sometimes we ate dinner together at 10 at night. She tried to be strong for me, but I knew she was hurting too. One night she said, "Alisha, I don't want you to feel like you have to choose between us." I looked at her. "But eventually I might have to." She sighed. "I know." Then came the conversation I had been afraid of. My father had accepted a new job in another state. He was moving to Texas. The job was a great opportunity. Better salary, better future, but it meant he would be hundreds of miles away. That night, my father sat across from me. "I want you to come with me." My heart started beating faster. "Come to Texas?" He nodded. "You could finish college there. I'd be closer to my new job, and we'd have a fresh start." I looked at him. Then I thought about my mother. But Mom would be alone. My father became quiet. "Your mother is an adult, Alisha." "I know, but I'm her daughter." He looked away. "I know." The next day, my mother asked me the same question. "If you want to go with your father, I'll understand." Her voice sounded calm, too calm. I knew she was trying not to influence me. I went to my room and closed the door. Then I cried. I wasn't angry at my parents. I wasn't angry at my father for taking the job. I wasn't angry at my mother. I was angry at the situation. Why did I have to choose? Why couldn't both of them simply stay my parents? For several days, I couldn't decide. I made lists. Texas, Ohio, father, mother, college, friends, memories, future. Everything became a calculation. But family isn't a calculation. You can't measure love with a list. One evening, I went to my father's apartment. He was sitting on the balcony. I sat beside him. "Dad?" "Yes?" "Why do I have to choose?" He looked at me. "You don't." "But I feel like I do." He took a deep breath. "Alisha, listen to me carefully." He placed his hand on my shoulder. "Your mother and I chose to end our marriage. We did not choose to stop being your parents." I looked at him. He continued, "Whatever you decide, I will still be your father." Tears filled my eyes. "Even if I don't move with you?" "Especially then." The next morning, I went to see my mother. I told her everything. Then I asked, "Would you be angry if I went with Dad?" She shook her head. "No. What if I stay?" "I wouldn't be angry either." She held my hand. "Alisha, your life is not a punishment for our divorce." Those words changed something inside me. For the first time, I realized I didn't have to choose a parent. I had to choose a life. I decided to stay in Ohio. I wanted to finish college near my mother. But I also made a promise to my father. I would visit him during holidays. We would call every Sunday, and distance would never become an excuse to stop being a family. My father accepted my decision. He didn't try to change my mind. Before leaving for Texas, he hugged me tightly. "I'll miss you." "I'll miss you too." Then he smiled. "Just remember something." "What?" "Home isn't always one place. It's the people who make you feel loved." The first few months were difficult. I missed my father. Sometimes I wished he were still sitting at the kitchen table. Sometimes I wanted to tell him something and forgot that he was hundreds of miles away. But every Sunday evening, my phone rang. It was Dad. We talked for hours, sometimes about serious things, sometimes about absolutely nothing. And somehow, those calls made the distance smaller. My mother also began rebuilding her life. She started taking better care of herself. She made new friends. She joined a community group, and slowly, she became happy again. Not the same happiness she had before. A different kind. A stronger kind. A year later, I visited my father in Texas. He had a small house with a beautiful backyard. We cooked dinner together. After eating, we sat outside. He looked at me and said, "Are you happy with your decision?" I smiled. "Yes." He nodded. "Good." Then he added, "I was afraid you'd think choosing Ohio meant choosing against me." I shook my head. "No, Dad. I chose my path. You were always part of it." He smiled, and that was the moment I finally understood. My parents' marriage had ended, but my family had not. Today, I am older. I understand that adults sometimes make difficult decisions. I also understand that children should never be forced to carry the emotional weight of those decisions. If you're going through something similar, please remember, you are not responsible for fixing your parents' relationship. You don't have to choose who to love. You don't have to stop loving one parent because you live with the other. And you don't have to feel guilty for choosing what is best for your own future. Families can change. Homes can change. People can change. But love can survive change when people choose understanding instead of blame. A powerful moral. Sometimes life forces us to choose a direction, but it should never force us to choose whom we love. My parents' marriage ended, but their love for me did not. And I learned that family isn't defined by one house, one address, or one perfect picture. Family is defined by the people who continue to stand beside you, even when life takes you in different directions. Thank you for listening to my story. If you enjoyed this emotional English story and want to improve your English through meaningful storytelling, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Pro English Stories. Keep learning, keep believing, and keep moving forward.